My God. They're really from another world.
And they're going to want to meet the man that flew that warp ship.
Live long and prosper.
Thanks.
Interactive and involved. Elias Mackos, CJAD 800.
Oh, I want to believe. I want to believe in life on other planets. How much do you believe in extraterrestrials? There is evidence that shows that extraterrestrial spacecraft may have flew by the Earth back in 2017. Well, if so, how did it get here? Let's find out. Our next guest is an astrophysicist at Harvard University and the author of the book that just came out about a month ago, Extraterrestrial, The First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth. Avi Leob joins us now. Hi, Avi.
Thanks for having me.
So, listen, you have a listener right now, and I know a lot of our listeners over the airwaves. We are all ears. I want to know because I want to believe. So, what can you tell us, Avi? Why should we believe that in 2017, what you and other people saw could be related to extraterrestrial life?
Right. Well, science is not about believing; it's more about evidence. And we had limited evidence, but the evidence shows that we noticed an object that is different from anything we have seen before. And this was the first object that came from outside the solar system that was spotted near Earth. It was given the name Oumuamua because it was discovered by a telescope in Hawaii. And this term, Oumuamua, means a scout or a messenger from far away. And at first, astronomers thought, it must be a comet or an asteroid, the type of objects we have seen inside the solar system before. But it didn't look like a comet. It didn't have a cometary tail. There was no gas around it. And it didn't look like an asteroid or just bare rock because it was pushed away from the sun, as if just from the reflection of sunlight. So it must have been very thin. And also a very long and pancake-shaped object based on the reflected sunlight. So altogether, it had about 6 anomalies, 6 properties that were never seen before in solar system objects. And that led me to suggest that perhaps it's an artificial object, just like a plastic bottle you stumble across on a beach when you are used to seeing rocks that are naturally produced. And of course, to be absolutely sure, what we need to do is take a photograph, a picture. It's often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. In this case, a picture is worth 66,000 words, the number of words in my book.
Amazing. Now, in the case of Oumuamua, it is long gone, right? You know, it passed by us in 2017. Is there any way we can still track this?
No, it's already 1 million times fainter than it was close to the sun, and it's also moving away faster than any rocket that we currently have. So the best approach is to look for more of the same. You know, when I go to the kitchen and I see an ant, I get alarmed because I know that there must be many more ants out there. And so we noticed this object after a few years of observing the sky, and obviously within a few years from now we'll find another one. There is no reason why we were at a particularly privileged time when we looked. And there will be also a survey telescope that is more sensitive than Pan-STARRS that will come online in less than 3 years. It's called the Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile, and that could potentially find an object once a month. So altogether, you know, the future is quite promising in terms of bringing us more objects. And my suggestion is to put cameras, deploy them within the orbit of the Earth around the sun so that one of these cameras would be close to such an object and take a close-up photo.
We're with Avi Leob, astrophysicist from Harvard University. The new book, Extraterrestrial, The First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth, making the case that our planet was visited by an extraterrestrial spacecraft in 2017. Avi, the universe, as you know, a very vast place. I just finished reading, in fact, Stephen Hawking's last book, and one of the questions he tries to answer in the book is, will we ever be able to visit other planets? And of course, there seems to be some limitations onto how fast we can go. We can't go faster than the speed of light. So do you think a spacecraft like this, a messenger, like you said, a bottle, is the most likely way that we will ever interact with alien civilizations?
Yeah, we made a mistake in the past. We were looking for radio signals, and it's just like having a conversation on the phone. You need the counterpart to be alive to have the conversation. But we cannot have a phone conversation with the Mayans, the Mayan culture, because it's not around anymore. We can find relics that they left behind in archaeological sites. And so in exactly the same way, we can do space archaeology and look for relics that were left behind by cultures that are not around anymore. Most of the stars are billions of years older than the sun. They were formed billions of years before the sun. And therefore, if they had a technological civilization like ours, those civilizations are dead by now. There is no point in trying to hear any radio signal from them because they're not around. But on the other hand, if they sent out spacecrafts like Voyager 1, Voyager 2, New Horizons that we send, these would still be around. And after billions of years, they might not be functional. They would be sort of like punctured plastic bottles on the beach where you have holes in it's not functional, but it will still tell us the story of what used to exist before we came to exist.
And does this give you an idea as to how humans should try and reach out to other cultures? I've heard, like our Voyager probes, right? They put like gold records on them in order if another civilization finds them. But do you think this kind of what you see from Oumuamua is something that we should try and adapt and do as well?
Well, it really depends what are the objects that we will find doing space archaeology. And it would be, if we do see things that do not look like rocks, it might be interesting to land on such a thing and examine it. And then it could be technologies that are a million years more advanced than ours. Even if they're not functional, it will give us some education about our own future if we were to develop that. I think altogether it will bring a sense of modesty to us because we tend to think that we are special, unique, we are at the center of the universe, and that we deserve special attention, and I don't think so. I think we are probably like ants on a sidewalk, there are many of them. So there were many like us before. And why would we ever think that we are so special and unique? I mean, I can understand it because my daughters, when they were at home at a young age, they thought that they are the smartest. Once they went to the kindergarten, they realized that there are smarter kids. So I want to know, is there a smarter kid on our block?
Avi, I could talk to you all day. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I want to thank you so much for coming on the program.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Avi Leob is an astrophysicist from Harvard University. The new book, Extraterrestrial, The First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth.